Hi everyone. So a lot of you know I was recently invited to the Sims 4 Get Together Creators Camp, which was a trip sponsored by Electronic Arts. So thanks to them, I was flown out to Redwood Shores and I was able to play the game in advance at their very crazy awesome Electronic Arts campus. And while I was there, I was able to get a bunch of answers that everyone asked in the comment section regarding the expansion pack. So I'll get to that soon. But you can see here I am building a nightclub in the new world Windenburg, which is absolutely beautiful. I love this world so much. It's divided into 4 different areas. There's an island that has this really beautiful beach with a bonfire, and it has a 64 by 64 lot. I believe there's 2 64 by 64 lots, which is the first time that we have that maximum size in The Sims 4, which allows for a lot of super and crazy epic builds that I'm excited to see other people do, because 64 by 64, it is a very intimidating lot size. I'm not sure if I could have the patience to build on something like that, but I know that a lot of people that play the game just for building are going to make a lot of awesome stuff utilizing all that space. There's also this business district, which is where my lot is at, and it's surrounded by all this beautiful water. There's a lot of really interesting water features, and you can have your Sims go out and really roam around the area. I feel that Windenburg has the biggest sense of scale. No matter what lot you're in, it just seems that the surrounding area is so massive and your Sims can go practically anywhere. And there's a more naturey part of town, and you see a lot of cute little animals just kind of chilling out. So you see a lot of ducks and pigeons, goats, and they're not really interactable, but they're just kind of there just to look at, and it looks really adorable. This is the new community pool. So that is a new venue type in the game, and that's really convenient to have because once all your Sims go there, they're automatically set to start swimming, which is a welcome change because sometimes when you would make pools, not everyone would automatically participate in them. So I was very happy about that. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I do want to list off some basically facts that I wrote down about buy and build mode. So from what I've counted, I counted 217 objects, and within those objects, these were the ones I wrote down that I thought were really interesting, and they're ones that are interactable. So we have these dance floors, and with the dance floors, you can do dances with a group. And the group's dances, I believe there's up to 5 of them, and you can have up to 8 people in one dance crew. I'll get more into the clubs in just a moment. So there's also a DJ booth, which is really freaking fun to play with. There's a lot of interesting music. I'm really happy they included chiptune music into it. So while you're DJing, you can play these different genres. And if you're not a DJ and you're at a club, you can request the DJ to play certain types of music, and you can upgrade it so that there's fog and lasers coming out of your DJ booth. It's a really interesting object. Real quick, because a few people were asking if the DJ booth was a career. It is not a career, so it's just a object that your Sim can play with. There's no new careers in this game. Now, there was a dartboard as well and an arcade machine, so it allows to have all these really fun and group interactive objects. The arcade machine, obviously I'm a big fan of arcade machines, being my name is AndrewsArcade, and the arcade machine holds up to 4 people at the same time. It's fun to watch the animations both on the screen and also with the Sims, and seeing them get frustrated when they lose or when they're doing really awesome. They're in the zone and it's really into it, and it's really cute to watch. Then there's also the bonfire that I mentioned earlier, and with the bonfire you can have your Sim do fire dancing next to it. I believe at level 3 of the dance skill is when you can unlock that. You can have your Sims cuddle next to it if they're feeling romantic. They can also light the bonfire to a whole bunch of different colors, practically any color you can think of. There was even an option to make it white or gray, and that flame looked really cool. In this picture though, I just did the standard color that it came in. There's laser lights that you can decorate the dance floor with as well. There's Don't Wake the Llama, which is a tabletop game There's a version for kids and for teens through elders, and it's basically like Jenga, and it's a reference to a tabletop game that existed in The Sims 2 in the past. There's also portable bars. Oh, that's another thing I should talk about the world. So they were very clever when going into making Windenburg, and they've placed a lot of objects throughout the entire town where your sim can stay out as much as you want them to. So there's a lot of bushes where they can go relieve themselves, and there's just a bunch of little portable objects where they can go fulfill their hunger need and their sleep, and so on and so forth. So the portable bars are really nice, because then you can just take that about anywhere and start serving a whole bunch of cool drinks at your parties. There's a foosball table. Oh, also there's an espresso bar with a bunch of different coffee that you can order either to drink at the cafe, or you can order it to go, and then you can take your drink wherever you want, which is really nice. There's the bushes that I mentioned briefly, so not only can you sleep in them, you can fertilize them, and you can also woohoo and try for a baby in them, and that animation is really funny to watch. There's also closets. With the closets, you can have your group go there and test out a bunch of different outfits from certain categories, so you could have them try on party outfits or formal outfits. And if a sim is feeling really sad, they can go into the closet and cry, and then another sim can come by and try to cheer them up from the outside of the closet door, which is really, really sweet. It's so cute that they put the animation in there. And of course, you can use the closet to woohoo and try for a baby, which those animations are pretty intense. In build mode, there's also a new natural pool tool. So with the natural pools, I believe there was 5 different water styles that you could select. So you have the default blue water, and then you have the more natural looking ones. There's one that's filled with rose petals as well that's really beautiful. And basically the way it works is you just build a pool any way you normally would, and then after you're done with it, there's a new tab within the pool tool, and it's just called natural pools, I want to say. And then that's where you selected watercolor. There's also 2 new diving boards, and they have a bunch of different diving animations that you can do, filled with successful and failed animations. Oh, also there's successful and failed animations with the dance floor as well, which is really fun to watch. So with the natural pools, there's also these objects that you can place in them that emit fog and bubbles. And there's also some other new pool tools that you can put in there. So there's these lap guides that you can place in the water for decoration. So that was pretty legit. Now, people were asking me if Sims could now swim in the ocean and the lakes and what have you, and no, that's not how it works. So the natural pools, it's very much just the pool tool, but now you can make them look a different style, if that makes any sense. So let's talk about Create a Sim now, and let me just mention right off the bat that Create a Sim and all the content that's within it is so good. It's amazing. They have a lot of different styles to fit different clubs that you'll make, and my favorite being the stuff that suits the dancing and DJ skill, because it's a lot of really cool and urban clothing. There's a lot of leather jackets and loose fitting pants, and it looks really cool. So let me just break it down for you. So in Create a Sim, for teen through elder females, there's 8 hairstyles, 2 hats, 12 outfits, 3 accessories, 3 makeup options, 15 tops, 8 bottoms, 5 bracelets, and 2 shoes. For teens through elders, for men, there's 5 hairstyles, 1 new beard, 2 hats, 15 tops, 4 outfits, 3 bottoms, 5 accessories, and 4 shoes. Then for children, for girls, there's 4 hairstyles, 2 tops, 5 outfits, 1 accessory, and 3 shoes. And then for children, for boys, there's 2 hairstyles, 5 tops, 3 outfits, and 1 new shoe. Within Create a Sim, I'm so happy they've added in 2 new traits this time and a new aspiration, so I'm really glad about that. The traits are Dance Machine and Insider. For the new aspiration, it's called Leader of the Pack. and it says, this sim wants to be the leader of the best club in town. So I'm really happy that this time with the expansion pack that they incorporated a new aspiration and traits that correlates with the expansion, because I felt with Get to Work that was one pretty big oversight. Okay, now let's talk about clubs, which is the main feature of The Sims 4 Get Together. And I feel like a lot of us, when we first saw the expansion pack trailer, we were very confused on what it was, right? Because when we first see it, it just kind of seemed like a bunch of random objects that were being thrown together, and I just didn't really understand the main theme behind Get Together. But after having a hands-on experience, I can go into a lot more detail about clubs, and I now see that it totally deserves its own expansion pack, and it's a very intricate and amazing system because the way clubs operate definitely changed the style of the way the game is played, and it makes it a lot more alive. It also gives you a lot more freedom to basically have the Sims act the way you want them to. So it's great for storytelling, and if you want to have, you know, two families that hate each other, you can do that really easily with Get Together. So let me just start talking about how you create a club. So when you make a club, there's a new button at the bottom of the user interface. When you click that, you can then create a club, or you can join a pre-existing club that has been in the game. When you go to create a club though, you get to name it, you add in a description, you can make it so that it's open or closed invite, and you can decide where the club is going to hang out. You also assign a group symbol. Then after you set that up, there's different requirements that you can set forth to have people be in the club. So you can do it by age, career, martial status, financial status, traits, and skill level. So once you add in all these filters, you can see which Sims in your town are eligible. You start off with 6 Sims initially in your club, but you can rack up these things called club points, and then you can unlock club perks to add more Sims up to 8. And after you've invited whoever you want to invite into your club, you then set 5 club activities that you condone, and then 5 club activities that you prohibit. So for instance, you can make it so that Sims go and woohoo with one another, or you can make it so that Sims go and fight with one another. You could make a literal fight club where that's all they do when they meet up. So there's different categories for these activities. So food and drink, art and music, hobbies, fun and games, social, outdoor, mischief and mayhem. There's a category just for kid activities, so you can make a club just for children, and also home activities. Altogether, there's 76 activities that you can pick from. And with all of these social activities, you can make it so that they only do the social activity within their group, with another group, or with everyone. So I guess the best way I could explain this, I made a club. They were called the Aphrodisiacs, and what they did, all they would do when they gathered, they would cook food, they would bake, and they would woohoo. So that was what I set forth just to see if I could do it. And what's interesting about the clubs is that they'll do the actions no matter what their relationship status is with one another. So I had them all gather at this public place where I made this kitchen and set up a bunch of beds off in the distance, and sure enough, that's what they did. They would just go and make food, eat, and woohoo, and call it a day. I made it especially important that the woohoo club would only try to woohoo with people inside their own circle. If you wanted to make a club up to 8 Sims, and it's just a woohoo club, they'll all woohoo with one another, and no one will be jealous as long as they're within the club. So let's just pretend that you have a husband and a wife, and the husband is in the club, but the wife isn't. And then if the wife happens to catch the man participating in the woohoo club, then the wife will get jealous. But if she's invited and she's in the club, then she'll be fine with it. So that's how that works. And it's also the same when it comes to fighting with one another. So it doesn't matter if they're madly in love with each other. If you have them set so that they're in a literal fight club and it's a club that just meets to fight each other, then they'll just smack the crap out of each other. And it allows for a lot of interesting storytelling, because with these social activities, you can have it set so that they only do these social interactions with each other in the group. You can have it so that they do it with everyone in the world, or you can set it so that they only do it with one other group in particular. So for instance, you could make 2 dance crews that absolutely hate one another, and then you can say, okay, I want this dance crew to be mean, to fight, and to do mischief skills against this other dance crew only. Because if you don't set it that way, then automatically by default they'll just be mean to everyone in the world. And you could do it that way if you want. I believe there was a club by default in the game called the Renegades, and it was led by this little kid that had this whole posse of a bunch of different people in different age groups, and all they did was go around and be very rebellious. It was pretty funny to watch. And I've been asked if Sims can join multiple clubs, and they can. So each Sim can be up to 3 clubs, and you can have members of the same household be in the same club that you create. So let's say you have a brother create a club. The sister can join the club, but since the brother originally created the club, he's the only one that can create or change, I should say, the club rules. So then if the sister made the club first, then she would be the one in control. And you could have the original club leader resign, and then you can assign who will take over after that. Also, if you join a club that's already been created, eventually you can work up the status to convince them to step down, and then you can take over the club. So that's how that works. I'm trying to think what else there is with the clubs. Oh, that's right. So you redeem these club points, and the way that you get club points is by participating with your club and doing the activities that you set forth. So let's say you make a dance crew and you make it so that they dance, they DJ, they maybe even play instruments, they drink, whatever. So whenever they're doing those particular activities, then you gain points. And with those points, you can redeem perks, such as club status. So you can make it so that your club status, people are famous and everyone basically wants to be them. Or you can make them infamous and everyone will fear you around town. You can get special handshakes so that everyone greets each other doing these cool little secret ones. I think there was about 5 to pick from. You can also increase your club size. So again, you start off with 6 Sims initially, and then you can expand up to 8. There's also social bonuses and skill bonuses. So like if you make a club that's specifically just for working out, you can get a skill bonus perk where the more people that are working out together, the faster that skill goes up. There's a club vibe that you can redeem, and club vibes are emotional auras that your club gets put in. So you can make it so that they're very playful or very, very sad or happy. And that's the vibe that the club will project. Then there's also clothing that you can assign them. So you can totally do the whole Mean Girls thing, and you have to make it so that everyone wears pink. You can't set particular days when they wear it, so you can't make it so they wear pink on Wednesdays, but you can make it so that they just wear pink entirely, or you can set it so that they wear a particular category from Create-a-Sim. So for instance, like the hipster category, you can make it so that they only wear that. You can also set your own outfits, and you go to Create-a-Sim, there's a mannequin, and you assign different outfits there that your entire club will cycle through. Do that, you can unlock club jackets, hats, and these sort of like wristbands, and you can make it so that they all wear the same track jackets and what have you, and that they wear your club insignia on the back. So it's really handy when making dance crews. I had a lot of fun with that. and I had them all in matching outfits all the time whenever they would go out to all these dance clubs and what have you. There's also a special club door that you can unlock that has your group insignia. And when you go into buy and build mode in pretty much any lot, you can place down that door, or any door, but I like the club door because it has your symbol on it. And then in live mode, after you've created this special little club area and you put the door there, you can click it and you can say that only your group has access within that particular area. So you can make special VIP rooms for just you and your crew, which is really cool. And what's also really interesting about this is, since you make these clubs and you tell them to go to a particular area and dress a certain way and act a certain way, they'll continue to do that even when you're not playing with that household. So a good example of that, there is a club by default in the game called the Night Night Club. And the Night Night Club, what they do is they dress up in this big shining knight of armor set, and they go into a particular pub and they're forced to wear those night suits all the time. So whenever you go to that pub, even if you're not playing any Sims that are in that club, you'll just see them there in that attire doing whatever activities they were set forth. So you could have it so that you have your mean girls go to a particular public lot and they'll just always hang out in that area and they'll just constantly be mean to people around there and what have you. So it definitely made me want to play a lot of different households and constantly make new clubs and have them hang out in all these different areas. And before you know it, you have all these clubs around town and you have all these Sims acting completely differently than they would before by default. And it just makes the game more alive. It gives your Sims so much more personality. What I like about the clubs too is it incorporates stuff from previous packs. So it incorporates stuff from Outdoor Retreat, Spa Day, and I asked if they were going to incorporate stuff from the expansion pack in the future to clubs. And they couldn't really give me a yes or no answer, but they said it was definitely possible. So I think, and again, this isn't confirmed, but this is just an idea and this is speculation from my end. So this is just completely nothing confirmed and just me spitballing. So I can just imagine, let's say they eventually make a pets type of expansion pack. I would like them, if they do that in the future, to have a group, or I'm sorry, a club that could be only dog lovers or only cat lovers. And then you could have like the dog lovers and the cat lovers hate each other and just constantly fight with one another. So I think that would be really cool. I feel like this is kind of setting the foundation for future expansion packs, because when you incorporate these clubs and you think about other packs that they could make in the future, it just seems like there's a lot of really great opportunities there. And I'm really hoping that they take full advantage of it, because what we have now with this expansion pack and all of the previous packs and all the previous activities that you can do, it's just so fun. And I'm really had a change of heart with this expansion pack. Initially, I wasn't too hyped up for it, but you guys know me, I get really into it and I kind of have to sometimes force my Sims to do certain things, and I don't like doing that sometimes because it just feels so inauthentic. But now that you can set these rules and Sims will act a certain way, it's just going to be so much more fun, and I'm really excited to get the game. Now, I'll talk about the patch that's coming soon. They didn't give an official date, but typically patches come out a week before the expansion pack. So they talked to us about a few things that's coming with the patch. So first of all, 64-bit is coming. And for those of you that are running on 64-bit machines, the game should perform a lot better. And the machines that we were playing on were running the 64-bit version and it was super smooth. So I'm hoping it'll be that way on my computer as well. With the patch notes as well, relationships should be improved. That way inappropriate relationships shouldn't develop anymore. There's a new reaction system too, so Sims should be able to react to fire and death a lot more they will be a lot more responsive. And I've had this experience with The Sims 4 where sometimes a sim dies and some sims don't even recognize it. So they've improved that. There's an option. Okay, so what happens is when there's a new patch, all of your mods will automatically be disabled just for the initial patch. And the reason for that is because when you have mods enabled and you're patching, sometimes it could really mess up your game. So by default, it updates your game, and then after it does that, then you can re-enable your mods one by one or all at the same time. That way you have a very safe way of upgrading to the next patch. It's also easier to control all the groups, so not just with clubs. So let's say you go out on just a group activity, you invite someone to a particular lot to go hang out. You'll unlock those options of go here together, go swimming together, go do this. Because before, man, it was so frustrating getting everyone to do one thing, right? You would have to have one sim go into the hot tub, then you'd have to invite like every other single sim that's not in your household to come into the hot tub, and it was a huge hassle. But now, when you invite a group to go out, and that's not even a club, this is assuming you don't even have the expansion pack, you can just click on the hot tub and you'll just be go here together and everyone will go in. So that's a very welcome change. Also, in the user interface, you know when you're interacting with the sim and at the top of the middle of the screen, there's this portrait of the person that you're talking to, the relationship bar and their traits and so on and so forth. So that has been improved as well. When you're in a group, it goes up to, I want to say 7 sims at the top, and you can quickly click their portraits just to see what they're feeling. So it's really easier and convenient to see how everyone in your particular group is doing. You can hire NPC for objects, so you can hire them for the DJ booth, for the espresso machine, and so on and so forth. There's also a new screenshot details area, which is really nice. So whenever you take a snapshot in game with the C button, there's a new interface at the bottom called the screenshot manager, I want to say. And when you click that, you can open it and you can see all the screenshots that you took there. I believe you can even add descriptions, and I saw a share to Facebook button. I hope eventually we get like a share to Twitter button or even Tumblr, because I know The Sims has a pretty big presence on both of those other social network websites as well. Oh, NPCs will invite you to things too. That's right. I totally forgot about that. So it's so cool. There's a text messaging in the game. People will send you texts. They'll be like, hey, I know you're friends with blah, blah, blah. Do you want to hang out and get to know one another? Or someone will be really flirty and they'll ask you out on a date. And it's actual dialogue that shows up, and it's really neat. The maps now have color, which is a really welcome change. I felt the maps before looked really dull and just not very exciting, but the new maps, man, they're so vibrant and colorful, and that's coming with the patch as well. There's new emotional greetings too, which is a really welcome change. So for instance, when a mother and daughter is greeting one another, they'll actually do a bit of a hug. If a married couple is greeting each other, they'll do a kiss on the cheek or a dip kiss. Or if two people are really angry at each other, they won't go up and do a handshake with each other. They'll stare each other down and kind of mad dog one another. So the whole way the relationship status is affects the way they greet one another. And I'm super happy about that. That was pretty much all I had to talk about. Oh, one thing. Hold on. So the estate. I forgot to talk about the estate a little bit. The estate is filled with a whole bunch of ghosts. And when you talk with them, they give you a bit of a backstory about their lore and how their death happened. And you get to find out sort of the mysteries behind the estate, which is really neat because we haven't seen that in Sims 4 before. Since when you talk to them, an actual little text dialogue shows up as well. Let me look at the questions that I wrote down that people had asked me, and I will answer them. So I was asked, will there be new jobs in Get Together? There will not be new jobs. I did not see any new careers. If you have 2 Sims in the same household, can they both be in the same social group? They can, but whoever is the leader of the group is the only one that can change the club settings. But I believe any Sims in the club can gather their members in the club wherever they want. Will there be new skills, traits, and aspirations? Yes, there's the new DJ skill, which goes up to level 10. There's the dance skill, which goes up to level 5, similar to the photography skill in Get to Work. And then for traits, again, that was the, let me look at my notes because I forgot the name of them. I'm so sorry. Dance Machine and Insider. And then the new aspiration is Leader of the Pack. Will there be any families in the new town that we've seen before in previous Sims games? Let me see. Yeah, no returning families. No, and I didn't recognize any. So, no, I don't think so. Since dancing is a new skill, can you slow dance? I did not see an option to slow dance. So I hope that gets added sometime in the future too, because it's really cute to do at weddings. Will DJing be a career? No. Will Get Together have any of the same or similar actions as the Showtime expansion pack, at least with the DJ career? Like, can I set up performances with my dance group or become a celebrity? No, there's no actual Showtime features in this game. So there's, there's not a celebrity. I know what you're talking about because there was that whole celebrity meter in the Sims 3 Late Night. They don't have that in this, but like I said, with the club perks, there was something that you can redeem where your Sims are either infamous or I forget what the other one was called. I don't think it was called famous, but you can make it so that they're popular or for good reasons or bad reasons, basically. But no celebrity status feature in this game. Are there any new community lots? Yes, there's the pools, which are awesome to have your Sims go and swim at. And the pool that's built by default in Windenburg is really beautiful. There's a lot of awesome glass objects. And I guess I should talk about that a little bit more. Buy and build mode, there's a lot of really intricate furniture made out of like wood and the stained glass windows. And you can make a lot of really pretty Tudor houses and maybe even like some cathedrals and cottages. And then on the flip side, there's these really awesome new glass pieces of objects that you can put in. There's even these dance floors that are made out of glass that a lot of people have been using as skylights. So you can put the dance floor on the roof and it works as a skylight and looks really cool. Can Sims own coffee shops? No. Oh, that's another one. So yeah, there's cafes and your Sims can go there, order a bunch of cafe food. There's a lot of new foods at the bars, cafes, and the coffee machine, like a lot. But they can't own the coffee shop and they can't own like a nightclub or anything. But you can go there, you can build their own little club area and make it so that only your club can go in that particular room. So you could do that. How many Sims can you have in a group and get together? You start off with 6 and then it's expandable up to 8. Will the town center square be open world, or will you have to travel to go to the cafes or shops in the square? It still operates the way it did in The Sims 4. So you hop from one place, and if you want to go to a lot, you'll still have to load it. But I will say the areas that you can explore, because once you load into a lot, there's still an explorable area surrounding that lot, and those are massive. There's just so many areas to walk to. Will there be more collectibles, fish, plants, etc., or recipes that have been added to the new pack? So for collectibles, no, there's no new collectibles. But like I said, there's a lot of new food. There's a lot of new food at the bars, a lot of new drinks, tons of new coffee that you can order. As for new recipes, I forgot to ask about recipes. I asked about collectibles, but not recipes. There might be, but I can't confirm that. Sorry. Will you be able to make a club, and can you change the club's uniform? Yes to both of those. You can get very detailed when creating your own clubs, and with the uniform, like I said, there are so many different options that you could select as far as making them wear a particular category from Create a Sim, a certain color. You can set their own outfits, or you can make them wear no uniform. You could just make them wear whatever they have on by default if you just want to have a more casual club. Can you give us more details about the beach and Get Together? So the beach is located on the island, and you can have your Sims go there and hang out by the bonfire, do fire dances, cuddle next to the fire, lay down and watch the clouds and what have you, and that's about it. Ask them how many Create a Sim items there are. Oh, well, I talked about that earlier in this video. Will different age groups be able to get together in the new expansion pack? Yes, it's from children through elders. Everyone can participate, and you can make kid-only groups. So those were all the questions I wrote down that I knew I was able to get answers for. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to ask me in the comments section, and I'll try to answer them. Now that I've basically talked about everything that's being included with the expansion pack, I'll just talk more about my opinions on it now. I just wanted to get that all out of the way, just because I know a lot of people were curious about some of the new features and what have you. So again, when I first saw this trailer for Get Together, even on Twitter, I was openly just kind of super confused about it and didn't really understand what it was about. But having played it, the world is absolutely stunning. All the Create a Sim stuff is really cool. The dance skill is my favorite. Absolutely love it. I do wish with the dance skill, so you can do solo dances and you can do voguing, hip hop dance, and dance battles. But with the dance battles, they're just one-on-one. So I liked having my dance crew have a rival dance crew, and I kind of wish that they could do a gigantic group dance battle. But I don't think that's actually possible. But regardless, it's really fun. There's also this really cool dance that's similar to the fire dancing, only they dance around with these like lasers that they spin around. It looks really neat. What I like most about this expansion pack though, is that it's stuff that you're constantly going to be using in your game, because it's just integrated into it. Because obviously your Sims, you want them to be social. So you make these clubs and automatically they have all these new friends in the neighborhood, and you go out with them and you have all these really fun social experiences. I think that will change my gameplay a lot, because often my Sims tend to be hermits. They don't really socialize all that much. And it's not because I don't want them to, but it was just because a lot of the time it was such a hassle. And when you would go out to community lots, it didn't really feel like there was much to do, and it wasn't really too exciting. But now with Get Together and the fact that you can make them do particular behaviors and use certain objects and have conflicting interactions with other clubs, it makes it so much more dynamic, and it makes it way more fun to play than before. So I really like all these social aspects about this expansion pack. Also really glad about the new aspirations and traits again. I hope that they continue to add new traits and aspirations relating to the expansion pack. And again, I was there to play it for 2 days, and I know 2 days sounds like a lot, but it goes by so fast, and so often I'm trying to get just the perfect picture. And I didn't really find too many cons with this expansion, in all honesty. I did have a limited amount of time there, but from everything that I've played and everything that I saw from other people and hearing stories about what Urban Sims was doing, Life Simmer, Sims VIP, Delegracy, The Sims Apply, everyone that was at the event there was doing really interesting and completely different things from me. And I think that's going to be really fun to watch on Let's Plays, because everyone has a different idea for what they're going to do at the club. And there's, like I said, 76 different options to set in the rules. So you have so much freedom to do all these different things. It's a really great tool for storytelling. And I feel like this expansion pack is definitely a must-buy if you're really into creating stories with your Sims, if you like having them, you know, feel more alive and having all these interesting conflicts with a bunch of different Sims in town. And I'm really excited for this expansion to come out. I can't wait. I'm so excited to make all these crazy new clubs, and all the new stuff that's added in Buy, Build, and Create a Sim is fantastic. But anyways, if any of you have questions that I did not touch on this particular video, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I should hopefully be able to answer you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to The Sims 4 Get Together, and I will be doing a Let's Play of it for sure once it comes out December 8th here in the United States. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.